Yes, I didn't see him. What are you looking so sad about, Jeff?
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm getting a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talking. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talking about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, one time in my career, I was on a Formula One tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Miss Cass, Ray Patterson, the Drunk Irishman, Mike Rim, Mike Mazik. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. Today, the Fury-Wilder Trilogy. The Fury-Wilder Trilogy has the family today. It's Monday, beginning of another big week of boxing history. Not just Monday, it's Trilogy Monday. We got a good one today. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. We're going to take a look at those three classic fights. We're going to look at the build-up to them, the fight, and the aftermath of the fights. All three of them. But how's everybody today? How was everybody's weekend? Rest in peace, Victor Conte. What? I did not know that. Wow. Victor Conte, that's the TED man, right? Wow. When did he pass away? Well, rest in peace, Victor Conte. Wow, that's news to me. But we got a big week of boxing history planned. Today, of course, Trilogy Monday, Fury-Wilder. We're going to look at some sports families tomorrow, not just boxing, all sports. We're going to look at, like, for instance, the Manning brothers, Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr., Steph and Seth Curry, their father, Del Curry, the Spinks brothers, Mayweather family, Klitschko's. We're going to look at some boxing families tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we're going to have some more dream fights. We're going to get Marvin Hagler and Roy Jones Jr. in this week. That's where we left off last week. And, of course, Alexis Arguello and Salvador Sanchez. That one almost happened. They were in talks when Salvador Sanchez had that accident and passed away. So, but it's going to happen Wednesday, okay, on Cast Sports. And then Thursday, we're going to look at boxing in Italy. You know, we're looking at different countries on Thursdays. And then this is the first Friday of the month, so we're going to profile an active boxer. This week, the life and career of Slick Shakur Stevenson. Friday, don't miss that one. Slick Shakur Stevenson, Friday. Okay. But how was everybody's weekend? We're getting ready to start off another big, huge week of boxing history. And we're going to start it off like we always do, with the fight of the day. So let's get it going. The fight of the day. Okay, today's fight of the day will be Floyd Patterson versus Pete Rademacher, August 22nd, 1957. Champion versus novice, Patterson versus Rademacher, August the 22nd, 1957. It is hardly controversial to say the 1976's Rocky is the most identifiable boxing movie of all time. It won the Academy Award for Best Picture that year. It spawned sequels galore. It has an unmistakable musical score and those Philadelphia Museum of Art steps. But the great thing about Rocky is that it all rests on such a ridiculous notion. An unknown club fighter is gifted an undeserving chance to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. It's a trope in boxing movies. That even in 1976 had already been played out for decades. In his book smash hit, Race, Crime, and Culture in Boxing Films, David Curcio examines this trope as it appeared decades before Rocky in the 1937 movie Kid Galahad, starring Edward G. Robinson. The square-off between an inexperienced fighter with no record or ranking and a champion is pure fantasy. Curcio reminds us, but then, sometimes boxing is a fantastic sport. Francis Ngannou springs to mind. He was a champion in MMA, but untried in boxing. Yet he faced Tyson Fury in his debut professional boxing match. Fury was a world title holder at the time, although officially his championship was not on the line. To a lesser, but no less surreal degree, there was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Despite Paul's fame and Tyson's age, some element of the champion versus nobody trope persisted and struck a nerve with audiences in the run-up to that ultimately abysmal fight. And we don't have to look back that far for other examples. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Conor McGregor in 2017 comes to mind. Or Larry Holmes versus Butterbean in 2002. Other heavyweight mismatches: Holmes versus Tex Cobb, Joe Louis versus Tony Galento, and the fight that inspired Stallone, Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Webner. But there is an interesting and little-known example buried in boxing history. A fight actually much closer to the movie trope than the examples already cited. In 1957, the then heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson, fought Pete Rademacher in Seattle, Washington. Now, maybe that doesn't sound like much. Most of us haven't heard of Pete Rademacher. But then most of us haven't heard of several of Floyd Patterson's opponents from that period, such as Roy Harris or Brian London. But Rademacher was different. He was fighting Patterson for the title in his professional debut. Okay? That's right. When Rademacher went in against the lightning-fast disciple Customato, he did so with an unblemished professional record of 0 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. Okay? That was his debut fight. Going for the world championship, Pete Rademacher. Al Booger in the building. What's up, Al Booger? Working our way through the fight of the day. Floyd Patterson versus Pete Rademacher. Yeah, Pete Rademacher this was his first fight of his pro career. Going for the world title. Only one ever before or since to do that. Okay? Now, Rademacher was not wholly inexperienced to the ring, however, despite what his record would indicate. Rademacher was an accomplished amateur boxer. He did well in the Golden Gloves and the U.S. Amateur Championships, and then he made the 1956 Olympic team. In Melbourne, Australia, Rademacher knocked out Soviet heavyweight Lev Merkin in the first round to win the gold medal, and was the flag bearer for the United States team at the closing ceremonies. In an intriguing coincidence, Floyd Patterson had won the heavyweight championship of the world only the night before Rademacher won the gold medal, when he knocked out Archie Moore in the 5th round in a battle for the title that had been left vacant when Rocky Marciano retired. Yeah, Floyd had just won the heavyweight title the night before Rademacher won his gold medal. So Rademacher was an Army lieutenant stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, alternatively described by the press as either burly or balding, depending on their spin. Rademacher was viewed as more businessman than prize fighter. Sports Illustrated referred to Rademacher as the Veep, not exactly an intimidating nickname for a fighter. 7 years older than Patterson, Rademacher understood that turning pro at age 28 meant a long career would not be possible for him. To make turning pro worth the risk, he needed a gimmick. And so he put all his efforts into leveraging his gold medal fame to negotiate a deal with Patterson's manager, Customato. Patterson himself had been a gold medalist in 1952. Yeah, he won the gold medal in the Olympics right before Rademacher won his. Okay, so you had the last two gold medalists. Well, Floyd won his at middleweight, I believe, but they both had gold medals in back-to-back Olympics. But Floyd didn't fight for a world title in his first fight like Rademacher was doing. Now, rumors of a possible fight began to circulate in March of 1957. When asked about it, Rademacher played coy with the press. It's not like someone is dreaming up something preposterous, he said. When approached, the idiosyncratic D'Amato was open to the idea of the gimmick. More pragmatically, D'Amato had alienated himself from much of the New York boxing establishment, and getting fight for his young champion was proving difficult. D'Amato negotiated a $250,000 guarantee for his fighter, secured by Seattle businessman and fight fan Mike Jennings. When asked about the unusual fight, D'Amato said simply, "I like the fantastic." By June, the deal was inked. Yep. So the fight was on. And there is Cuss and his fighter. There's Cuss and Floyd right there. There's Cuss and Floyd right there. Yeah, by June, the deal was inked. Now, not everyone in the boxing world was impressed, however. Oscar Fraley, sports writer for United Press, couldn't believe the announcement of a Patterson versus Rademacher fight. He wrote it off as a publicity stunt, declaring it either boxing's biggest hope or its most dismal disgrace. Fraley gave Rademacher no chance. To think of throwing Rademacher in against Patterson is like stopping a berserk elephant with a champagne cork. Give poor Pete a meat cleaver in each hand, and I'll still lay you 10-5 he wouldn't last 3 rounds. If the announcement by the fighters' managers was just a stunt, it would be all right to laugh, Fraley conceded. But if they're serious, they ought to be shot. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the idea of this guy getting a title shot in his first fight. Debut performance. The boxing bigwigs soon lined up in opposition to the fight. "I'm utterly astounded," said Julius Helfand, chairman of the New York State Athletic Commission, "that D'Amato would be even thinking of making such a fight." The National Boxing Association threatened to refuse to sanction the fight. When the Washington State Athletic Commission called their bluff and sanctioned the fight anyway, the NBA was forced to concede. Every time the heavyweight champion goes to bat, the title has to be at stake, they said. But in a show of displeasure, the NBA's executive committee voted for a resolution stating that the association does not look with favor on this proposed fight, and that it would not fulfill the stipulation that the champion must defend against a rated opponent within 6 months. Despite the outrage and concern, Rademacher seemed in good spirits. "Patterson is not going to get the soft cookie the boxing world expects," he told reporters confidently. "If I didn't think I could win, I wouldn't get into the ring." So in August of 1957, less than 1 year after his final amateur fight at the Olympics, Rademacher stepped through the ropes at Sick's Stadium in Seattle, Washington, to challenge the heavyweight champion of the world for his title. And Rademacher almost won. Okay? He actually almost won. Yeah. There's Rademacher right there in Floyd. And Rademacher started out taking the fight to Floyd. Okay? So, Patterson took a slow start in the first round. The young champion launched the fear of his leaping gazelle jabs at his fellow Olympian, but landed little of distinction. Rademacher kept his own jab busy and even landed a solid right to Patterson's midsection. It was a laudable first round as a professional for the Veep. He stood toe-to-toe with the heavyweight champion of the world and had not wilted before the pressure. He might even have won the round. Okay? Might even have won it. Rademacher continued much the same way in the second round. Extending his jab, he circled continually to his left. Patterson really threw, content to slip and roll and feint. With little return fire, Rademacher began firing his notably strong right hook. And near the halfway point of the round, Rademacher's hooks succeeded in knocking Patterson off balance. The champ's feet were not set, and he reached forward to Rademacher, who responded with yet another right hook. This blow sent Patterson to the canvas. Rademacher was just a 10 count away from winning the title in his debut fight. Actually had Floyd on the canvas. The referee, former light heavyweight legend Tommy Loughlin, did not even get to administer a count. Patterson was up almost immediately, appearing more embarrassed than shaken. Encouraged by the knockdown, Rademacher pushed forward aggressively. If Patterson had been kind of hesitant during those first few minutes, he was wide awake now, returning shots at close quarters with his novice foe, who was now ahead on the scorecards because of the knockdown. As the bell rang to close the second round, the short-winded Rademacher walked back to his corner, gulping for air, because this was his first fight as a pro. He used to fight in 3-round amateur fights. After the second round, he's walking back to his corner, gulping for air. Rademacher was. If the champion's game plan had been to allow the amateur to run his gas tank low, it was working. Rademacher continued to trade with Patterson in the third round, but his firepower lacked the muscle he'd wielded just a few minutes earlier. That's how quickly the direction of the fight can turn. A minute into round 3, Patterson caught Rademacher with a pair of hooks, a right to the temple and a left to the jaw that slumped him. Patterson, whose humanitarian instincts seemed so unlike a prize fighter, reached out and caught his man to hold Rademacher up rather than let him fall. The referee Loughlin stepped in to make room and signaled the two Olympians to continue. Rademacher showed himself game, but without steam. He threw wildly and inaccurately. Patterson suffered no such deficit of wind, and his punches were as clean and crisp as spring sunshine. Rademacher was tottering, clearly outclassed, and moving backward. 20 seconds before the end of the round, Patterson delivered a right hook to the chin that sent Rademacher to the canvas. And there he is, on the canvas. When the bell rang for the fourth round, Rademacher, whose amateur fights were never scheduled beyond 3 rounds, was entering uncharted territory. All momentum was now behind Patterson. Radamacher's Hail Mary of a debut seemed all but over now. He coming with a puncher's chance, biffed his best blow, and watched Patterson walk comfortably forward, hand in hand with the inevitable. Patterson seemed in no rush to extend himself, however, and the round passed without much incident. In the fifth round, Radamacher's motor wound down. He was dropped 4 times in 3 minutes. His legs were gone, and his body language was trembling. Still, he survived, and his corner allowed the slumping Veek to return for the 6th round. Patterson dropped him 2 more times. Radamacher stood, but barely. Seeing the contender's posture sag and slump, referee Lockwood called an end to the fight. Radamacher lost his title shot by TKO in the 6th round. He remains the only fighter in history to have fought for the heavyweight title in his professional debut. Despite the loss, Radamacher continued fighting as a professional. He also lost his 2nd fight, another quixotic matchup, this time facing Zora Farley, who Radamacher had beaten once in the amateur ranks. His record now, no wins and 2 losses. He dialed back the level of competition and found some success, including fighting in Germany. In 1960, he faced iron-jawed Canadian George Givallo and won. The following year, he lost to Doug Jones and Archie Moore. Radamacher ended his pro career in 1962 with a win over Bobo Wilson. His record stood at a respectable 15 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw. 23 pro fights altogether. There's him and Archie Moore right there. He lost to Archie Moore in 1961. 6th round TKO also to Archie Moore. 6th round TKO loss, just like to Patterson. Floyd Patterson held the distinction of being the youngest person to win the heavyweight belt in 1956. Unfortunately, as a result of his winning the vacated title, many felt Patterson was merely a paper champion. The sideshow up in Seattle with Radamacher did little to improve this low opinion. Title defenses against Roy Harris, Tommy Jackson, and Tom McNeely also didn't help. Patterson gained another distinction in 1960, however, becoming the first heavyweight to reclaim the title after losing it to Swedish-born Ingemar Johansson, and then winning the rematch. Patterson lost his title to Sonny Liston in 1962, though he continued to fight for a decade after Liston, facing stiff competition in Eddie Macon, George Chivallo, Muhammad Ali twice, Henry Cooper, Jerry Curry twice, Jimmy Ellis, and Oscar Bonavena. Although Pete Radamacher retired from the ring in 1962, he never lost his love for the sweet science. He refereed many times over the years, including Tim Witherspoon versus James Quick Tillis in 1983, and he judged club fights around Akron, Ohio until 2007. He died in 2020. 12 years earlier, Sean M. Murphy spoke to Radamacher for a Boxing Insider interview. Where are they now piece? Looking back, any regrets about your career, ex Murphy? Radamacher replied, absolutely none. And there you have it, the fight of the day. Salute Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building. Okay, we're going to talk about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder today. But salute to Bruce Gas. That trilogy they had. 3 great fights. Okay? Salute to everybody in the building. Today is Monday. Starting off another week of boxing history. Excuse me for 1 second, please. One momento. There we go. Okay. Lights, camera, action. There we go. Ooh, watch out, chair. Okay. Let's get into this great trilogy between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. All right, salute to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more, Al Booger, Mike Mazik, Mike Rim, the Drunk Irishman, Ray Patterson, and Miss Cass. Okay, the Fury-Wilder Trilogy. Now, the Fury-Wilder Trilogy refers to the 3 professional fights between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder for the WBC Heavyweight Championship, which took place from December 2018 to October 2021. The rivalry is considered one of the greatest heavyweight trilogies in boxing history. Fury emerged as the dominant figure in the series with a record of 2 wins and 1 draw against Wilder. Fight number 1, December 1st, 2018. The first fight ended in a controversial split decision draw. Fury largely outboxed Wilder for much of the fight, but Wilder scored 2 heavy knockdowns, including a dramatic one in the 12th round that Fury miraculously recovered from. Fight 2, February 22nd, 2020. Fury completely dominated the rematch, winning by technical knockout in the 7th round. Fury employed a more aggressive pressure fighting style, knocking Wilder down in the 3rd and 5th rounds. Wilder's corner ultimately threw in the towel in the 7th round to stop the fight. Fight 3, October 9th, 2021. In an action-packed fight that won the 2021 Fight of the Year award, Fury won by knockout in the 11th round. Both fighters were knocked down multiple times in a thrilling back-and-forth battle. Fury went down twice in round 4, with Wilder visiting the canvas in rounds 3, 10, and 11, 1 time in each of those stanzas. Fury eventually landed a clean right hand in the 11th round that ended the fight. In the end, Fury successfully defended his WBC title twice after winning the belt from Wilder in the first fight, and closed the trilogy with 2 decisive knockout victories. Okay, let's look at some boxing styles now. First, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Look at Tyson Fury's boxing style real quick. Now, Tyson Fury's boxing style is a versatile, unorthodox, and awkward mix of a traditional outboxer and a boxer puncher, characterized by slick movement, surprising speed for his size, and strategic use of both his reach and close-range dirty boxing tactics. Key elements include feints, an active jab, excellent footwork that can switch stances, and the ability to wear opponents down with clinch work. Fury adapts his style, sometimes fighting as a traditional outboxer to control distance, and other times getting inside to smother his opponents, power, and wears them down. Okay, let's look at the Bronze Bomber. Just real quick, boxing style, then we're going to get into it. The Bronze Bomber, Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, Thomas Hill? The Fury-Wilder Trilogy today. Just looking at their boxing styles. Now, the Bronze Bomber's boxing style. There's the Bronze Bomber. Okay. Now, Deontay Wilder is primarily known for his devastating, unorthodox knockout power. particularly his right hand. Now, while his technique has often been criticized for having lapses in fundamentals, he has maximized his physical gifts, including a long reach and powerful limbs, to become one of the most feared punchers in heavyweight history. Wilder's strategy revolves around finding and landing his powerful right hand, often setting it up with a loose measuring jab. That right hand is Wilder's most potent weapon, which he can throw from unconventional angles to catch opponents off guard. He generates immense force by engaging his hips and core before his arm, allowing his entire body weight to be leveraged into his punches. Wilder's raw power has often compensated for a perceived lack of fundamental boxing technique, particularly his footwork and overall defense. Okay, now let's get into the trilogy. Wilder Fury 1. Okay, that's a good place to start, right? 1. Wilder Fury 1. Okay. Does everybody have a good weekend? We're getting close. It's November. We're close to some big ones. I think that Riyadh season with Devin and B. Norman is like late in the month, though. Yeah, we got a ways to go for that one. That's almost like the last weekend of the month. Oh, man. Okay, get with me for a second. Always something. We're going to get it going, though. It's like I'm offline on my tablet. I don't know how that happened. Okay. I'm going to go to the backup plan. I got it ready. Okay, here we go. Well, it's off. What is the Wi-Fi doing off? There we go. Yeah, okay. Here we go. We good to go now. Should be. Wilder Fury. Okay. It's acting up. Oh, here we go. Wilder Fury 1. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Let's go put this back over here. Okay, here we go. Wilder Fury 1. Okay, let's get started with the first fight. Number 1. Okay, so Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 was contested on December 1st, 2018 for the WBC Heavyweight Championship, okay? It took place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, home of the Lakers. The Dodgers got it done. What a game, that game 7. Anybody see game 7? Wow. 11 innings. The Dodgers had needed the home run in the top of the 9th to tie it up. Woo, what a game, man. That's one of the best game sevens I've seen in a long time. Anybody see that? That was wow. That was a great game. I watched every pitch of that whole game too, man. That was really enjoyed that. Another great game, Thomas Hill. I know T. Hill saw it. The Dodgers went back to back too. Yeah, went back to back. We're going for the three-peat next year. Okay, let's look at a little background to the trilogy first. Okay, a little background. I don't know how that picture got back up there. There we go. With Wilder for everyone. We're gonna look at a little background first, okay? Let's get started. Okay. Yeah, that's true, Mike. Yeah, that one in the bottom of the ninth. Yeah, that was, man, it was all, they had so much happened in that game, man. It was best baseball game I've seen in a long time. It's hard to watch a whole baseball game, but that one had it all. That was very exciting. And game 7 of the World Series. We get no better than that. Now, the potential matchup between Wilder and Fury had been talked about and promoted for several years prior to the fight, including by the two fighters themselves on social media. The pair's first encounter had taken place off camera at the Motorpoint Arena in Sheffield, England in April of 2014, where Wilder knocked out Artley Harrison on the undercard of Amir Khan versus Julio Diaz, with both Wilder and Fury promising each other a fight in the future. Wilder became the first American heavyweight world champion in nearly a decade in January 2015 after defeating Bermane Stilvern by unanimous decision in Las Vegas to pick up the WBC title, the only world heavyweight title at the time that was not held by the reigning champion Vladimir Klitschko. Fury became champion in his first world title attempt by defeating Klitschko for the WBA, IBF, WBO, the ring, and lineal titles in Dusseldorf, Germany, later that year in November 2015, ending Klitschko's decade-long reign with a unanimous decision win. Wilder made the third defense of his title in January 2016 against Artur Popilka at the Barclays Center in New York, a fight in which Fury was in attendance. At the end of the fight, after Wilder had knocked out Popilka in devastating fashion in an attempt to build a future fight, Fury jumped into the ring, and there was a face-to-face confrontation between the two men, this time in front of the onlooking crowd and a live television audience. Fury grabbed the microphone and told Wilder, "There's only one Tyson Fury. What you got to say about that, Deontay?" Wilder replied, "We all know Fury. This is just an act. I ain't scared of nobody, and I'll come to your backyard for that fight, baby." Fury continued the exchange. "Anytime, anyplace, anywhere when you're ready, I'll fight you in your back garden like I done Klitschko. I'll beat you, you bum. You're a bum." With several people now separating the pair, Fury took off his jacket and threw it to the mat, whilst pacing up and down talking to Wilder across the ring. Wilder took the microphone again to tell Fury, "I don't play this. You can run around like you a preacher and all that, but I promise you, when you step in this ring with me, I will baptize you." Okay? So after that confrontation in New York, a fight between the two has seemed inevitable in the near future. But with Wilder obliged to face mandatory challenger Alexander Povetkin next, and Fury bound by a contractual rematch clause with Klitschko, the fight would have to wait at least until the end of the year. But the coming months saw Fury postpone the Klitschko rematch twice. Firstly, due to an ankle injury in June, which saw the rematch put back from July 9th to October 29th, before Fury postponed the second time in September after being declared medically unfit following a positive test for cocaine. This led to Fury vacating his remaining titles in October 2016, and further problems with depression and alcohol and excessive weight gain, and being stripped of his boxing license. Fury regained his boxing license and was cleared to fight again in December 2017 and began training for his comeback around the same time. Okay? BBO Sports TV in the building. What's up, BBO? Wilder Fury today. Man, I can't find my ink. Oh, boy, I got another one. Where's the thing go to, man? That's crazy. Okay, what's up, BBO Sports TV? Wilder Fury today. Luke, BBO. Appreciate you, nephew. BBO Sports TV from the Sports Talk Network. Okay, so yeah, Fury got his license back, okay? Meanwhile, Wilder had now made 6 successful defenses of his title, including his first-round knockout in a rematch with Stiverne, while the 7th defense was to be a career-best win over unbeaten top contender Luis Ortiz in March 2018 by a 10th-round knockout. Post-fight on both occasions, Wilder called out Anthony Joshua, who has since become champion by collecting the IBF and WBA titles, which had been vacated by Fury. And Joshua got their titles in fights against Charles Martin and Klitschko, with Wilder stating his desire to unify the titles, saying, "The world wants Wilder and Joshua. I want Joshua. Joshua, come and see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses. Let's make the fight happen and see who's the best. I know I'm the best. Are you up for the test?" Later that month, Joshua defeated previously unbeaten Joseph Parker by a unanimous decision in a unification fight, which saw him add the WBO title to his name. Okay? But after several months of ultimately fruitless negotiations with Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, Wilder and manager Shelley Finkel were left to look elsewhere, with Joshua instead opting to make a defense against Povetkin, which would take place on September 22nd, while Fury made his return to action on June 9th after a 2.5-year hiatus since his win over Klitschko. And in his return, Fury stopped Sefer Seferi in 4 rounds. So on June 27, 2018, Fury gave Wilder a message in an Instagram video saying, "I want to apologize on behalf of Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua because they're from the same country as I am. They won't fight you, and they took 3 months stringing you and the fans along with no intention of fighting you. But I will fight you in 3 seconds. Get your boss to send me the contract, and I'll show you how long it takes to sign it. If you want to fight the best this country has ever had, knock on my door, and see if the Gypsy King doesn't answer. The ball is in your court, Deontay. Around this time, Fury and Wilder discussed the potential fight privately, and their two teams began talks for a fight to take place before the end of the year. Okay? But now, talks are getting serious for this fight to occur. Because Anthony Joshua didn't want it. Him and Eddie Hearn didn't want it. So, by August 2018, both Wilder and Fury had agreed to a fight, and with Fury scheduled for the second fight of his comeback against former world title challenger Francesco Pernetta on August 18th on the undercard of Carl Frampton versus Luke Jackson at Windsor Park in Belfast, Ireland. Wilder was ringside to begin the promotion of the fight with Fury. After a comfortable points victory over Pernetta, there was a second in-ring confrontation between the two, with Wilder saying, "We're ready now. This fight will happen. It's on, baby. This is what we've been waiting for right here. The best fighting the best." While Fury said, "We are two men who will fight anybody. This man has been trying to make a big fight with the other chump." I think we all know who we're talking about Joshua. But listen, they called, I answered. I said, "Send the contract." They sent it, and I said, "Yes." Wilder replied by saying, "There's one thing Tyson Fury has never had, and that's the WBC belt. And if he ever thinks about having it, he better wake up and apologize to me, because he ain't never going to have it." The pair posed for photographs and then had a face-off, with Fury's promoter Frank Warren stating that the fight was on, with only an announcement on a date and venue in the United States to be finalized. On September 27th, the fight was officially announced to be held on December 1st, with the venue the Staples Center in Los Angeles, which won the rights ahead of venues in both Las Vegas and New York. A three-city press tour was also announced. The press conferences were in the following three cities: October 1st, 2018, BT Sport headquarters in London. October 2nd, 2018, Flight Deck at Intrepid Sea Air Space Museum Complex, New York City. October 3rd, 2018, Star Plaza, Los Angeles, California. So the fight is on. The weigh-in took place on November 30th on a made platform outside the Los Angeles Convention Center. Fury stepped on the scale first and weighed in at 256.5 pounds, his lightest since his comeback following his layoff. The weight was only 2 pounds less than he weighed in August 2018 against Francisco Pernetta, but he looked leaner. Wilder was next to step on and came in at 212.5 pounds, his lowest since his debut in 2008, when he weighed 207.5 pounds. For his last fight, Wilder weighed 214 pounds, but it was cited that Wilder suffered from an illness during his training camp. Okay, so the fight. Time for the fight. First fight between the two. In front of a crowd of 17,698 at the Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, Wilder and Fury fought a 12-round split decision draw, meaning Wilder retained his WBC title. Mexican judge Alejandro Rochin scored the fight, 115-111 for Wilder. Canadian judge Robert Tapper had it, 114-112 for Fury. And British judge Phil Edwards scored it, 113-113, a draw. The crowd booed the decision. Fury, using his unorthodox stance, spent much of the fight using upper and lower body movement to avoid Wilder's big shots and stay out of range. There was not much action in round one, as both boxers used the round to feel each other out, with Wilder attempting to trap Fury into the corner and Fury being able to evade most of Wilder's swings. In round 4, Wilder landed multiple stiff jabs, which caused Fury's nose to bleed. In round 6, Fury switched to southpaw stance and attempted to assert himself more in the fight, successfully backing Wilder against the ropes, and at the same time stayed cautious of Wilder's power. Round 7 saw both fighters trading jabs, after which Fury landed a counter right hand, which quickly tied Wilder up before he could throw anything back. Okay? There we go. Yeah, before he could throw anything back, Fury tied him up. Round 8 saw back and forth action with both fighters trying to land. In round 9, Wilder dropped Fury with a short left hook followed by an overhand right, which was the result of Fury's ducking low to avoid the left hook and being pushed further down by the right to the top of the head. Fury beat referee Jack Reese's count and survived the round. Okay? Rounds 10 and 11 saw Fury gaining the upper hand as he landed 2 right hands and then proceeded to land additional blows while managing to avoid any powerful swings that Wilder launched at him. In round 12, Wilder connected a right-left combination which put Fury down hard on his back. The crowd, commentary team, and Wilder believed the fight was over. Referee Reese looked at Fury on the canvas and began giving him a count. To everyone's surprise, Fury beat the count. Reese made Fury dance to his left to check if he was ready to fight, which he was, and Reese called for the action to continue. Wilder was unable to land another power shot, and Fury landed some right hands to finish the round and the fight on his feet. Both boxers embraced in a hug after the final bell sounded. Okay, yeah, they both made the final bell. According to Combat Box statistics, Wilder landed 71 punches of 430 thrown, 17%, and Fury landed 84 of his 327 thrown for 26%. Wilder was much less accurate in this fight than he usually had been in previous fights. Fury outlanded Wilder in 9 of the 12 rounds. Both Wilder and Fury only landed double digits in 4 separate rounds. And the fight ended in a split draw. Again, the scorecards 115-111 for Wilder, 114-112 for Fury, which was incorrectly announced as 114-110 and 113-113. So Wilder retained his WBC world title. Former boxers, commentators, and pundits have since said that Fury was robbed in the decision of the fight. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the aftermath of the fight ended up being a draw. Wilder and Fury embraced each other after the fight. Both Wilder and Fury stood in the ring after the fight and gave interviews to Jim Gray. Wilder felt he had done enough to win the fight, stating, "I think with the 2 knockdowns, I definitely won the fight. We poured our hearts out tonight. We're both warriors. But with those 2 drops, I think I won the fight. I came out slow. I rushed my punches. I didn't sit still. I was too hesitant. I started overthrowing the right hand, and I just couldn't adjust. I was rushing my punches. That's something I usually don't do. I couldn't let it go tonight. I was forcing my punches too much, instead of sitting back, being patient, and waiting it out. I really wanted to get him out of there, give the fans what they want to see. Now, Fury said, we're on away soil. I got knocked down twice, but I still believe I won that fight. I'm being a total professional here. I went to Germany to fight Klitschko, and I went to America to fight Wilder. God bless America. The Gypsy King has returned. That man is a fearsome puncher, and I was able to avoid that. The world knows I won the fight. I hope I did you all proud. After nearly 3 years out of the ring, I showed good heart to get up. I came here tonight and I fought my heart out. Now, Wilder and Fury claim to be the best heavyweights in the world, and both called out unified world champion Anthony Joshua. Fury shouted, "Chicken, chicken, Joshua, where are you?" Wilder then agreed, stating the 2 best heavyweights got into the ring and fought tonight. Now, a few days after the fight, Wilder claimed the 9 out of 10 referees would have stopped the contest immediately after the 12th round knockdown. Speaking to Sirius XM, boxing referee Jack Reese explained why he did not stop the fight. Okay, this is what Jack Reese said on why he didn't stop it. This is Jack Reese, the referee, talking. Doc Kent, Ernest Johnson in the building. What is happening, gentlemen? Doc Kent says, I always wondered if Fury would strategically push the fight Wilder behind the scenes instead of AJ. Good question. Salute, Ernest. Been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute, but good to see you. Yeah, Doc Kent and Ernest Johnson. Yeah. So this is what the referee Jack Reese said why he didn't stop it, because a lot of people thought that Fury was out and Jack Reese should have stopped it. But let's see what Jack Reese said why he didn't stop the fight. Okay. Now, Reese said, I was evaluating these guys throughout the entire fight. And in the 12th round, they boxed their hearts out, threw a lot of punches, but there wasn't a lot of heavy damage taken by either guy. They both moved into the 12th round tired, but not extremely hurt. When Fury got hit and he went down hard in the 12th round, that was an unbelievable knockdown. 2 things went through my mind. Number 1, always count a champion out. And number 2, give this guy the benefit of the doubt and let's see how he still is. So when I went down to count, not only did I get down, I scooted in so he could see my hand and hear my voice. When I got to 3 and 4, he was grimacing. His eyes and his cheeks, he was grimacing. So I knew he was awake. And then when I said 5, his eyes popped open like I startled him. He rolled over and got up and said, I'm okay, Jack, I'm okay. I said, do you want to continue? He said yes, and put his arms on my shoulders. I pushed his arm off and said, walk over there, come back to me, and show me you're okay. He did, and we let the fight continue. The Reese said, it is the referee's opportunity to make sure the fighter who is hurt can intelligently defend himself, because you're about to let a guy come hurtling across the ring and try to finish this guy off. And people started making them walk in a straight line. Any drunk can walk in a straight line. Doctors taught us it is hard to hide things when they had to change direction. That's what I made him do. Okay, so yeah, Jack Reese said he was okay. So, you know, when he got to 5, his eyes came open. So he let him continue. So a week after the fight took place, promoter Frank Warren started talks for the rematch. The WBC also agreed to sanction a rematch, if terms were agreed upon. According to Frank Warren, negotiations were looking to be finalized in January 2019, with Warren and Fury calling for the rematch to take place in the UK. In December 2019, it was officially announced that a rematch had been scheduled for February 22nd, 2020 in Las Vegas. The rematch was far less competitive than the first fight, with Fury putting on a dominant performance, knocking Wilder to the floor twice en route to a 7th-round stoppage after Wilder's corner threw in the towel to save Wilder from further punishment. So let's take a look at the second fight now, okay? Yeah, let's take a look at fight number 2 in this trilogy. Fury-Wilder, Wilder-Fury. Okay? If this thing working yet. Turn my eyes up on it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's get fight number 2 going for us. Yeah, this one was in Las Vegas. MGM Grand, I believe this one was. Let me see. Yeah, this one was at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Fight number 2 was. Okay. Let's see if I can get this working for us. Yeah, Fury versus Wilder 2. And it's after 2 o'clock. Nope. It ain't gonna work. Okay. This one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had the wrong thing all that time. Fury versus Wilder 2. Okay. Bear with me for 1 minute. How's everybody today? It's Monday. We're back at the beginning of another big week. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about some sports families, not just boxing, all the sports, like the Currys, not just Steph and Seth. Their father, Del Curry, was a long-range killer too now from downtown. Yeah. He did most of his work with the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah. Dad was a long-range killer too. Yeah. Del Curry. Yes, he was. Yeah. I think Seth is on Golden State this year, right? I think they had put him on waivers or something because of the salary cap, but I think they plan on bringing him back. Yeah. Man. Let's see here. No. There's 3. I want 2. Gee, me Christmas. Now, if I was looking for 3, 2 would come up. 2 was February 22nd, 2020. Yeah, here we go. That's 3. Gee, me Christmas. Where the hell is 2 at? Bear with me. We're going to get it. Two. Astonishing performance. Bear with me. There we go. Yes. Yeah, here we go. Okay, Fury-Wilder 2. Okay, appreciate everybody sticking with me. Okay, Fury-Wilder number 2 now. Okay. Now, as goes the heavyweights, so goes boxing. It's an adage that held true for virtually all of the first half of the 20th century, the 60s, 70s, late 80s, and 90s. Fight fans conveniently overlooked it for much of the 2000s and 2010s after Lennox Lewis let the next era begin and ushered in a wave of dreadful anticlimactic hogwash. But despite all the Klitschko's ridden mismatches we have persevered through over the years, fans certainly didn't forget what a true heavyweight mega fight felt like. Because when Tyson Fury stepped into the ring to face Deontay Wilder for a second time, a similar electric atmosphere swept the boxing world that can only be felt when two of the best big men step in the ring for the ultimate prize in sports. Lucky for us, this time, fans will get a fight that exceeded all expectations. Okay? Exceeded all expectations this time. And the third one wasn't bad either, but we're on the 2 right now. I'm trying to get this thing to scroll up. I'm having major problems. I hate this laptop. Yeah. In front of a packed MGM Grand, they broke the record set by Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield for biggest live gate in a heavyweight fight. Fury made the first entrance to the ring on a chariot to the tune of Patsy Cline's Crazy. Right? Yeah, here he is. Remember? That Fury came in. There he is. To Patsy Cline's Crazy. Right? But theatrics aside, Fury was on a mission to accomplish what practically no one realistically thought he would actually set out to do. Come right after the most feared heavyweight puncher in a generation and go for the knockout. But, like always, Fury made good on his promises as he immediately picked up where he left off in the first battle, bringing the fight to Wilder and keeping the bronze bomber on the back foot. Now, while he had to take several hard right hands to do it, it didn't take long for Fury to make the most fearsome heavyweight puncher in the world suddenly look reticent, unsure of himself, and completely out of his element. As when we watched Mike Tyson fall to Buster Douglas in 1990, we now saw Deontay Wilder suddenly in the midst of an existential crisis and struggling to compose himself and compute how the man he once had on the brink of a knockout defeat was out of nowhere spanking him from pillar to post. And there's how Wilder came in, right there. With all that stuff on. That was crazy. You like that, Booger? Anticlimactic hogwash. Okay. So while Wilder's mortality was put on display for much of the first two rounds, the reality of the situation did not sink in until late in the third, when Fury decked Wilder with an overhand right. It had landed in a vulnerable spot on Wilder's left ear and caused his legs to come out from under him, sending him crashing to the deck for the first time in nearly 10 years. Now, Deontay made it to his feet, but it was clear his equilibrium was shot. Perhaps more importantly, his self-perceived aura of invincibility was placed in serious jeopardy for a fighter who prides himself on his destructive bronze bomber alter ego, a man who goes out of his way to strike fear into each fighter he steps into the ring against. Being placed in this situation on the biggest stage of his professional career was going to be a huge hurdle to overcome. A huge hurdle to overcome for the bronze bomber. And that knockdown in the third round, it seemed like he never really recovered from that. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Okay. To Fury's credit, he did not go for broke following the knockdown, realizing that wounded tigers are still dangerous, as Wilder has shown to be in the past, like against Luis Ortiz. The Gypsy King continued to take the fight to Wilder, but made sure to smother the bronze bomber before Deontay could respond to Fury's onslaught. In addition to Wilder's equilibrium being compromised, Fury's sheer physicality was clearly taking its toll on Deontay, as the WBC champion was beginning to slow. He was beginning to show serious signs of fatigue, and we're only in the fourth round. Remember? Yeah, fourth round. By the fifth round, Fury was clearly uninhibited in his attack and was practically manhandling Wilder, both in close or at long range. Fury managed to score another knockdown of the Alabama native with a left hook to the body, but it appeared to be more of a result of Wilder's general discombobulation than any one particular punch. With blood streaming out of Wilder's ear, fans were beginning to question if his Thor's hammer of a right hand could bail him out of this dire situation. But as hard of a puncher as Wilder is, it is nearly impossible to lean on your power when you have no legs to deliver it from. Right? Yeah, Fury went after that ear too after that. There he is. Yeah, he went after that ear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to deliver that power when you have no legs to deliver it from, right? As ESPN commentator Joe Tessitore put it in round 6, Fury was almost ragdolling Deontay Wilder, who appeared to be fighting on pure instinct at this point. Not only that, but Fury was clearly gaining momentum, smelling blood, and even going so far as to lick it off Wilder's ear at the end of round 6. You remember that? He licked some of the blood off of Wilder's ear. Mm-hmm. Was that too much? Maybe, but hey, it comes with the territory. And on this night, the Gypsy King was making the ring into his own personal madhouse. And the end came in round 7, when trainer and former champion Mark Breland decided he had seen enough and threw in the towel. Both Wilder and assistant trainer Jay Dees were notably disappointed with Breland's humane decision, as both would have rather had gone out on their shield. to be subject to merciful capitulation. Deontay's such a puncher, so you had to give him every bit of the benefit of the doubt, said JD's afterwards, clearly at odds with Breeder's decision to throw in the towel. Dees added, I haven't talked to Mark about it yet, but we'll talk about it and figure out exactly what happened there. He saved him from getting knocked out because that's what was going to happen eventually. But he would have went out on the shield. You know, Breeder saved him from being a mean. That's what I think happened. But what happened there was that Breeder may have saved Wilder's life, the same way Angelo Dundee may have saved Muhammad Ali's life when he overrode Drew Bundini Brown and forced it into a completely unnecessary beating at the hands of Larry Holmes. The power Wilder generates is obviously conditional, and it's nearly impossible to return to devastating form when you're exhausted, dazed, and have a 273-pound bloodthirsty heavyweight destroyer pouncing all over you. He was hurting, bleeding, and possibly concussed. Even taking into account the slim chance Wilder could turn the fight around with one big punch, that was a hypothetical and highly unlikely outcome, while the damage he was suffering was very real. As for Fury, the Gypsy King poked fun at how little the boxing world took its chances of scoring a knockout, seriously, heading into the fight. Not bad for an old fat guy who can't punch, huh? Fury also stated that he is only starting to perfect his new approach as a more aggressive offense-minded puncher under the tutelage of new trainer Yvonne Sugar Hill. We've had 7 weeks to perfect the style that takes years at the Kronk Gym, in and out. I aim to get back to work straight away, and believe me, we're going to be putting guys away, left, right, and center. That's the way Fury was talking after that one. You know, after he put Wilder away. He was saying that he was going to be more aggressive and he was going to start putting people away after that. You know, he hadn't had Sugar Hill too long at that point, remember? It is Fury, the winner of fight number 2. So, it is your winner of fight number 2, Tyson Fury. Okay, let's look at the third fight in this trilogy. Okay. Now I was just looking at the third fight. Now watch me not be able to find that. Okay, bear with me. I don't know why this keeps saying the Wi-Fi is off. Yep. Here we go to 3 now. And 3 was back in Vegas, but it was at the T-Mobile. And it was a rumble to remember. 3 was on October 9th, 2021. Okay. Almost 2 years after 2. It is on. That's on. Soul Wi-Fi. Connected. Okay. That's my Wi-Fi, Soul Wi-Fi. Okay. We got like 35 minutes to get 3 in. Okay. I'll go back to the old faithful. All right. Now I was just looking at 3. Now I don't see it. That's good and crazy. Fury-Wilder 3. A rumble to remember. Hope everybody enjoying the show. We're going to talk about some boxing families. Sports families, not just boxing. The sports families tomorrow. The Manning. Jackie Robinson had a brother. He was a track star. In the 220, in the 220, I think in 220 in the Olympics, he won the silver medal. Guess who he came in second place to? 1936 Olympics. Jackie Robinson won the gold. Jesse Owens won the gold, and Jackie Robinson's brother came in second place. We're gonna talk about them tomorrow. Sports families. Okay, here we go. Wilder Fury 3. A rumble to remember. Okay. T-Mobile Arena, Paradise, Nevada. Again, October 9th, 2021. Okay, let's get into that one. This one ain't that long. Arnie Boxing. What's up, Arnie Boxing? And Just Do Boxing. Yeah, we're doing the Fury-Wilder trilogy today. But Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 p.m., about a half hour from now. Arnie Boxing coming up later tonight, 9, 10-ish, around in there. 30-something shows into his podcast now. Salute to Just Do Boxing and Irony Boxing. Okay, Fury-Wilder 3, a rumble to remember. Okay. Now, when a heavyweight fight delivers all it promises to be, the drama is unparalleled. Needless to say, there have been a number of great heavyweight trilogies in the past together. Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier carved their names in the history during the sport's golden age. And more recently, Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe fought 3 epic battles in the 1990s. And it is now no exaggeration to say the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's trilogy can sit alongside these, not to mention other great rivalries of the past in other weight classes. And if that's the case, Fury vs. Wilder 3 is the primary reason why. The wall battle that was the third and final chapter of the Fury vs. Wilder saga proved to be an instant heavyweight classic, full of action, drama, and momentum changes. A slugfest that kept everyone spellbound. You can't ask for much more or expect two men to give more of themselves in a boxing fight. Okay? Just can't ask for too much more. They gave that. I think it was 5 knockdowns in this one? Yeah. Had everything. Like that game 7 in that World Series had, sir. They had everything a baseball game can have, man. But there was bad blood going into this fight, as Wilder had given a laundry list of absurd excuses to justify his defeat to Fury in February of 2020 in the second fight. Former trainer Mark Breland had been fired for throwing in the towel, with Wilder furious that he was not allowed to go out on his shield and be a meme. He got his wish this time and can have absolutely no complaints with the result. But we must recognize the scale of the effort he put forward. The sheer will to win and refusal to quit was well beyond any reasonable call of duty. There was absolutely no shame in this defeat. Wilder simply lost to a great fighter in a great fight. So he might have had something to that, Mark Breland throwing in the towel in the second fight, because, he went out on the shield in this one and fought great. A wide-eyed and fierce-looking Fury glared menacingly during the pre-fight stare-down. But it was the bronze bomber from Alabama who immediately took the center of the ring and made the more positive start. A solid jab to the body pushed Fury backwards and helped set up the right hand behind it, giving Fury pause for thought and showing Wilder had come equipped with a more intelligent strategic approach than in the second fight. Okay? Yeah, there he is targeting Fury's ample midsection. But with just seconds left in the opening round, Fury landed a clean right hand that snapped Wilder's head back and drew gasps from the Las Vegas crowd. Still, it was the challenger who raised his arms aloft at the bell. And he took the round on all three scorecards and made it a clear statement of intent. Fury had promised to run him over like a truck, but on this night, Wilder was not about to roll over for anyone. Yeah, Wilder took round one in that one. So, Fury settled down and asserted himself more in the second round, outworking Wilder to take the round on two judges' scorecards. The action really started to heat up as they exchanged shots with bad intentions. In round three, Wilder's dangerous right hand began finding his target with ominous regularity. And for a moment, Fury looked to be hurt and in retreat before he abruptly cracked Wilder onto the ropes and cracked him with a massive right hand. As Wilder bent over from the effect of the shot, Fury turned his feet and uncorked a beautiful short right uppercut that sent the bronze bomber crashing backwards onto the canvas. Okay? Yeah. Dropped the bronze bomber early. Rising at the count of 4, but on shaky legs, Wilder shook his head in annoyance with himself. Yeah, let's go, came the firm response when referee Russell Mora asked if he wanted to continue. With only 15 seconds left in the round, Wilder was able to ride out the remainder of the storm, but there was no question he was hurt. Round 3, there was no question he was hurt at the end of it. In round 4, it became apparent we were witnessing something special. Wilder's legs had still not fully recovered, and with Fury smelling blood, it seemed like his early knockout prediction was about to come true. Instead, Wilder turned the tables and very nearly scored one of the great comebacks in heavyweight history. With about a minute left in round 4, Wilder found himself with some space and blasted a perfect right-hand shot through the middle of the guard. Fury's legs wobbled, and his arms instinctively reached out to hold on to something, but found only in air, right? Reached out to hold on to something, but found only air. Pausing on the spot for a moment as his legs struggled to find the whereabouts of the floor beneath him, his giant 277-pound frame finally gave way and he crumpled into the corner. Yeah, I believe it was 5 knockdowns in this one. It was Fury's turn to go down now. I can't never get this thing to scroll. Yeah, it was Fury's turn to go down now. There we go. There we go. God damn. I'm sorry. Here we go. Okay. It was Fury's turn to go down. He crumpled to the canvas. That's round 4. Okay. Rising at the count of 6, Fury looked clear-headed. Wilder went in for the kill, unloading with both hands until another clubbing short right towards the back of the head set Fury down again. Lying on the canvas, he nodded to himself, seemingly in full knowledge of the world of danger he was now in, and slowly dragged himself back to his feet. Then the bell sounded to end the round. Luckily for Fury, just as Mora was waving them back into action, and it was clear we were now in the midst of a championship classic. The bell might have saved Fury in 4, but he got amazing recuperative powers, though. I don't have no doubt he probably would have recovered from that too. Wilder had almost finished the Gypsy King, but it expended much energy in the process, and it showed in the rounds that followed. As he began to load up with more predictable attacks, Fury timed him with stiff jabs and heavy 1-2s, sneaking in some clever uppercuts inside. It was a weapon he employed successfully again in a messier 6th round, as Wilder, clearly feeling the effects of Fury's massive bulk leaning on him, looked fatigued. Trainer Malik Scott pleaded with Wilder to wake up, get back to the body, but it was Fury landing the more effective shots again in the 7th, scoring with hooks to the ribs and damaging right hands upstairs. A series of swiping hooks and uppercuts rocked Wilder again, but he clung on and raised a defiant fist at the bell. Yeah, Arnie says Fury and Wilder took 20 years off each other's life. Dark Kent says, I would have to go back and look at it again. I just remember Fury closing out the fight with a stoppage. Yeah, we coming up on that. Yeah, Fury ended up getting a stoppage, but it was a great fight leading up to that. Tyson was clearly back in control now and pressed forward behind his jab in the 8th round, crashing home heavy right hands with increasing regularity. Wilder showed immense heart, but he was taking serious punishment, and the ringside doctor insisted on speaking to him before letting him go out for the 9th round. Tired, shipping punishment, and unable to get out of the way of Fury's ramrod lead hand, Wilder pulled out a peach of a right uppercut to end the round. It was a timely reminder to Fury that the danger posed was still very real, and the fight was far from over. In the minute of rest before the 10th round, Fury's corner urged him to refocus and get back to basics. All you gotta do is jab. Just jab the Mickey Fricky, implored Sugar Hill Stewart. For his part, Wilder looked ragged and exhausted, and when he threw a sloppy overhand left in close, Fury easily ducked under and countered with a huge right hook. The force of the shot took Wilder's left leg from under him and spun him forwards onto his hands and knees. Wilder, his face now swollen and bloody, was obviously dazed, and Mora would have been within his rights to wave the fight off at this point. But the Bronze Bomber raised his hands defiantly and was allowed to continue. Yeah, Wilder was in bad shape by that point. Yeah, look at that picture there. But Mora let him go on. It was such a great fight. Russell Moore probably said, I can't stop this, you know. The courage on display at this point was an order of magnitude greater than any human can reasonably be asked to give in the name of a sporting contest. We speak of bravery and willpower in many arenas, but rarely is it presented in such pure visceral form outside of a boxing ring. With Fury pouring on the pressure, it seemed just a matter of time before Wilder could give no more of himself. But somehow, Deontay summoned one last burst of energy from the depths of his soul, exploding with a flurry of hooks that had Fury stunned again at the end of the round. Coming out for the 11th, both men showed the wounds of war. But Wilder's legs looked so leaden, his movement so weary, it was hard to see how he could make it to the finish line. Having virtually swept rounds 5 to 10 on all three scorecards, Fury was now in a commanding lead. But he was determined to take the fight out of the judge's hands as he snapped Wilder's head back with more right hands and uppercuts. Wilder flailed and struggled, but just did not have the strength to grab on or resist, as then a brutal right hook crashed into his skull. Wilder's body, empty of its last ounce of vitality, pitched forward limply, and Mora began to wave his arms before the stricken fighter had even hit the canvas. Yeah, Mora had seen enough. Yeah, he started waving it off before Deontay even hit the floor. As a distraught Wilder made his way back to the dressing room, the victor spoke to ESPN's Bernardo Osuna in the ring. Like the great John Wayne said, "I made a pig iron and steel, baby," being the undefeated and lineal heavyweight champion. "I was down a couple of times. I was hurt. Wilder's a strong puncher. He's a tough man. I was hitting him with some big shots." Yeah, there's the end right there. Yep, there's the end. Russell Moore is waving it off. What? What? There it is. Yeah, Wilson Moore is waving it off. That's the end of it. After such an incredible war, it was a shame to hear Tyson say that when he went over to acknowledge his adversary and his noble effort, Wilder refused him. Perhaps when some time has passed and the wounds have healed, Deontay will come to have a new level of proper regard for his opponent. After all, it took a fighter as strong and determined as Tyson Fury to bring out the best in Deontay Wilder, and thus enable him to win newfound respect from fans and detractors alike. As Fury said before serenading the crowd with his customary post-fight ballad, "It was a great fight tonight. It was worthy of any trilogy in the history of the sport." Words that perfectly encapsulated an incredible, exciting heavyweight war and a historic rivalry. Yeah, great trilogy. Wilder and Fury. Okay, let's sum it up. That was fight number 3. Let's sum up this great trilogy now. The Fury-Wilder trilogy concluded with Tyson Fury cementing his dominance in the rivalry, finishing the trilogy with a record of 2 wins and 1 draw against Deontay Wilder. Let's review the overall results of the 3 fights. Fight 1, a controversial split decision draw. Fight 2, Fury won by 7th round technical knockout. Fight 3, Fury won by 11th round knockout. The final fight was praised as an all-time great heavyweight clash, providing a defining conclusion to one of boxing's most memorable rivalries. There you have it, the Tyson-Wilder trilogy. The Tyson Fury-Wilder Trilogy, right there. What a war that was. And that third fight was epic, man. Yeah. Yeah, definitely ended with a bang. That trilogy did, man. No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that was yeah, that was great. Great trilogy. Don't get no better than that. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about some sports families, okay? And then Wednesday, the dream fights. Thursday, boxing in Italy. And this is the first Friday of the month, so we're gonna profile an active fighter. The life and career of Slick Shakur Stevenson Friday. Okay, don't miss that one. It'll be good. Like I say, Shakur don't have a nickname, so I gave him Slick Shakur Stevenson. Okay? Right? I gave him one. Anybody got a problem with that? No, I'm just kidding. That'd be a good one, though, wouldn't it? Slick Shakur Stevenson, man. Perfect. Fits him like a glove, I think. We got like 15 minutes before Just Do Boxing comes on. Anybody want to chop it up for a couple minutes? Okay. Here's the link. Oh shit. What did I do? Oh my goodness, something ain't right. Oh, I didn't hit enter. Yeah. Let me see something. Wait a minute. Yeah, I didn't even put the thing in. Now it's in. Yeah. Yeah, 15 minutes until boxing receives its just due to you. Everybody gonna receive their just due. And in the professional, unbiased, balanced way over there. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to everybody, a lot of people don't know about, they know about Steph and Seth Curry, but their father, Del Curry, was a killer from downtown too. Did most of his work with the Charlotte Hornets, yeah. Yeah. Del was stroking them from 30, 35 feet with regularity. Del Curry. It's in the genes. That's why his sons shoot so well. Steph just took it to the next level. And yeah, I think they playing together this year. I think they had put because of the salary cap, they had signed Seth, but I think he's not playing yet. But they plan on bringing him in. What's up, T Hill?
What's good with you guys?
Nothing. Just another day. Yeah.
Another day indeed, man. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord, man.
That's right. How you feeling this afternoon, man? Monday?
Yeah, well, happy to see another day, man. Weekend was busy as all get up Friday, and I got off at work and I had to go straight to preparing food because we had a catering the next morning for a wedding.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Wow.
that bad boy was all the way out like 45 miles from us, so I had to get that ready by 11:45 so we could leave, take the food, and then I had to shoot all the way back out another 70 miles to come to be in a wedding. So yeah, it was tough for me, man. I ain't getting no sleep.
Yeah. Did you get to see the game that the Dodgers and the Blue Jays game 7?
You know what? I was only able to see the last inning, the last couple of innings. But you know, I was happy, man, because you know, in that series, had we not scored more than 2 runs, we lost every single game. So I told the people I was with at the wedding, I said, if we are to score more than 2 runs, I said we'll win the game.
Yeah.
And even when we were down, once we hit 2 runs, I said, oh, we gonna win this game. It's gonna be, we gonna come back, but we gonna win it. And sure enough, they actually did come back and win it. So props to them, man. That was a series in which they were thoroughly outplayed for a majority of the series. They played better than the Blue Jays in spurts, and in those spurts gave them victories.
Right. They was clutch.
Tremendous. Yeah, man. It was a tremendous series. It was one of the best series I've seen of all my lifetime. 2 epic games. The third game and the last game were the epic games of the series. But each game was very interesting. Now, there were some games where the Dodgers just got the first game, they absolutely got hammered.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they lost. They won 2, they won 3, lost 4 and 5, and they got 6-1, 6-2, 6-1. Then those came back, won the next 2 in Toronto. That was all around a great series, man. So much respect to the Blue Jays. It's kind of heartbreaking to see a team.
That's hard, you know, when you got to win game 7 on the road like that.
Yeah, very hard, man. Very hard, and to a team that's playing better than you.
And then you get that big lead, the fans was straight in it. Toronto jumped out to that 3-0 lead.
Man. Yeah, man, it's tough to lose that way, man. It's tough to having won a championship in such a long time, and then you're feeling like, yo, a couple of outs away, and then it all goes away.
Man, yeah, that was tough. Dramatic. Yeah, Victor, somebody else was saying Victor Conte. I think it might have been the joke I was saying earlier in the chat that he had passed away.
That's what they're saying.
I didn't know he was sick.
I didn't either.
He kept that quiet, didn't he? Cancer. Somebody gonna be running it, you know.
Nah. Not the money they're making off of it. But it's still sad to hear. I never want to hear of anybody passing.
Yeah, but I mean, he did his time and everything, so you know, another chance, you know.
Yeah. Agreed. So, what did you think about these fights this week? I didn't get to catch any of them.
Me neither.
Okay.
Man.
I heard that Watts
talking about them throughout the day, but I didn't see nothing this weekend. When is that big card? Devin and Norman and Benavidez. This is toward the end of the month, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm waiting for. Then we got Tank and Jake Paul this month too.
It's in 3 weeks.
When is that one? Yeah, Tank and Jake Paul is before Benavidez card. Yeah.
But it's right around the corner from them.
I hope Tank ain't going in there with no made up stuff like Tyson did.
Well, you did hear about his troubles with some girl that works at a cabaret. one of those gentleman joints. He supposedly went in there at about 4 something, got into an altercation, drug her off the stage, and through the back door.
Yeah, I heard that, man.
Now, unless there's a code that when people come into the building, they got to surrender their phones.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing that somebody of high stature can go into a club and people see them and not pull out their phones and record that. And then whenever there's a viral moment where people are fighting and doing some stuff like that, people will tend to record that, it not get recorded. It's kind of mind-boggling to me that there's no video of stuff like that, because that would be the first thing circulating.
You know that.
But by that same token, there's been many things linked to him similar to that, so it becomes believable to folks. And then yes,
I know, that type of thing. So
yeah,
believe it,
Yeah, and then there's women who are on the card that say they're not comfortable with him on the card. So I don't know if this is all them just spinning a narrative so that they can generate more views, or if it's something that's actually real, man. If it's real, and then unfortunately, my man Tank gonna have to do some serious thinking about the people that he has around him. And
missing up the money, and they was making that was the biggest payday, wasn't it?
Yeah, but on top of that, it was a bridging of the companies too, man. Like I said, I believe that was their attempt to start working together.
So, damn. Yeah.
To put on these fights, and that could very well be in jeopardy now.
And then he know in his position, people gonna try to provoke you and stuff too. Like they used to do Mike Tyson. Remember he punched the guy on the plane and got sued. So you got to be careful when you reach a
Absolutely. The thing is that, man, there was people around him said the dude deserved to get punched. So Mike had some people in his corner that was vouching for him, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Tank, it's more people that don't particularly care for him than that do care for him. And there's people that would love to see him not do well or to fail, bro. And that's what's wild to me.
Gonna automatically go against him, yeah. You're right.
And it's not just him, man, because they do that to Devin and Shakur as well. And to a certain degree, Errol Spence, Bud Crawford. Boots, yep. They do it to these fighters, bro. And it's like, when are you guys gonna understand that, man? All you're doing is producing or pushing these agendas that these people who really got to compete against these folks, they got out there for these folks. You know what I'm saying? This is common knowledge that you got solid individuals in these certain camps that people respect and love. The own fighters respect and love, but yet and still, you believe that what you believe, because some people who are opposed to them got people out here claiming these things and reporting these things to make it like something that's like almost a bad song that gets a lot of play on the radio. It's bad, but it plays so much that you can't help but sing it every now and again.
Yeah, you hear it so much, right?
Yeah, you hear it so much that you feel like you're compelled to sing it. And that's what it's like, man. It's like unto that. And
that's exactly what it is. That was the perfect analogy there. Yeah.
And unfortunately, man, we go with the masses. We're not really there to think beyond what we hear or see. And
if you keep hearing the same narrative about the same person, a lot of people start believing it. And like
absolutely.
you said, Tank is always in that type of situation,
Absolutely. And then it's what he says too. He helps the cause too, because he says, he wants to be a better person and he got to do this, and it makes it almost look like, this is just normal for him. And this is what he gravitates to. And I don't know that to be true or not, but I could understand how people could feel this way, and especially people who want him not to do well, who want to see him fall. Yeah, exactly.
Negative, you know what I mean?
So he has to be aware of that. He has to have people that are around him that are aware of that and that will tell him that. And, they got to make sure that be the general consensus whenever they're talking or discussing things outside of the ring, because he's been a target now, unfortunately. And, he's helped in that make. He's thrown some darts at on his own board too. So
he's not helping.
So yeah, that's what I feel about that.
What's up, Irony Boxing?
The good brother Define Irony.
How you fine gentlemen doing?
Oh man,
okay.
we just talking that good boxing. Kaz up here doing another legendary show.
Absolutely.
I'm over here just listening.
How many trilogies have you reviewed? You reviewed the Morales Barrera trilogy, right? And the Ward Daddy as well? Okay.
Yeah, about 6.
Have you done Bo Holyfield?
Yeah, I did that one. Okay. Ali and Frazier, Floyd Patterson and Johansson.
Oh yeah, Ingemar Johansson. I thought for some reason they fought twice, but yeah, Floyd beat him 2 straight times. Yeah.
And Tony and McCallum, remember?
Exactly.
I did Sugar Ray and Jake LaMotta too, the 6th fight one. I did that one.
Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah. 6 of them. Yeah. There's quite a few of them, I didn't know James Tony McCallum had fought 3 times until a couple weeks ago. I remember 2 fights. Yeah, they had a trilogy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they I thought Pacquiao Morales was 3 and Pacquiao Barrera was 2 times, right?
Yeah, 2. And him and I did him and Marquez 4 fights too. Yeah, a couple weeks.
4 fights. Yeah.
Yeah, I did do that.
Yeah, that was epic, man. But like I said, I feel like Marquez won every fight he lost, and the fight that he didn't win, I thought it was a draw. I had it a draw.
I can see that happening, T Hill. Not for nothing. I mean, I can give Pacquiao perhaps the first one because he dropped him 3 times in the first round and whatever the case may be. But the third one, bro, not for nothing. On the third one, they robbed Marcus, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That was bad.
And that first fight, after that first round, Marquez almost won every round after that.
That's what I'm saying. He definitely won almost every round.
No, that was the second one. But in the third one, there was no knockdown. Marcus pretty much whooped him, and they gave it to Pacquiao. That was bad, bro. The third one was a bad one.
And then that fourth one, he said, I ain't leaving it up to y'all judges this time.
Yeah. That. Yeah. I'm trying to think
just went down when he went down earlier in that round, didn't he? When he knocked off, or was it the round before when he knocked?
I think it was the round before.
Yeah, he had him down.
He dropped Pacquiao first, then Pacquiao evened the round. I think it was in the same round, and then we'll know what happened.
Yeah.
Have you done the Sandy Sadler versus Willie Pep?
No. They had 4, right?
At least. And have you done the Tony Sale versus Rodrigo Graciano?
No, I was thinking about that one. They had a trilogy. I think they did, yeah. Yeah, they had a trilogy. And
what about Israel Vasquez? Didn't he have a trilogy?
Yeah.
Rafael Marquez, bro.
Yeah, it was 3, right? Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
How did I forget that one, bro?
Juan Manuel's little brother, right? Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, Juan Manuel's brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That one, them 2.
They had one fight that didn't make no sense, bro. It was like the second coming of Ward Gotti 1 or something like that. I think it was the second or the third one. One of them.
They battled. That was a battle. Them 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't Corrales and Castillo fight? I know they had that first fight with that 10th round, obviously, but didn't they fight like at least 2 times?
Yeah, twice.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They fought again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't match their first one though. Remember how that one ended?
Wow. No way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other trilogies that you might be able
There's
to
a
cover.
bunch of them. Yeah, I was.
Roy and Tarver is a trilogy as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure is.
did
And
B-Hop have a trilogy with somebody?
just thinking about him. I was just thinking about his name, but
He fought a couple of people twice. He fought
right.
Pascal twice.
Yeah.
He fought
I
Roy
can't remember those
twice.
trilogies though. But yeah, I know he had a bunch of rematches. I can't
Yeah, I
think of
don't
no
think
trilogies
so.
that he was in.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
I mean, technically speaking, Canelo and Triple G was a trilogy, but I
Yeah.
mean, you know, with Triple G was like 93 in the
Yeah, that
third.
last fight, we could have did without that one.
Right.
Just
We
do
can do
call
the
that
first
one the pay-per-view spawn match.
one. Exactly.
Yeah, we could have did without that last one. Yeah, Triple G was just right. He got paid, you know. He got
Fellas, I
paid.
gotta know who y'all got for Virgil versus Lubin. I gotta know.
When is that?
This Saturday.
This Saturday. Well, Lubin better make it. And he ain't gonna get no decision if it's close. You know, they trying to build Virgil.
Yeah, that's
I
for
thought,
sure.
what's his Borchuk beat him? I thought, but I don't know. They gave it to him.
Yeah,
He
me
dropped
too.
him twice. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the sign right there. You drop him twice, you're still not getting a decision. I mean, let's
On a
connect the
close
dots
fight
here.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, two 2-point rounds. That should have been the difference. Because a lot of the rounds wasn't too much separation. That should have been the difference right there. So Lubin better stop him. I'm gonna pick Virgil just because of that, man. You know.
I got Lubin.
You got Lubin? You think you
I
gonna
got
stop
Lubin
him
too,
or what?
but I tell you what, Lubin got to keep that head off the line.
Yes.
But I got him as well.
Decision? Stop him?
Well,
That's Saturday.
I'm gonna say
November.
late stoppage. I'm gonna go on a limp and I'll say late stoppage.
It's hard to believe these fights. I know they're always in November, but November is here, man. It's hard to believe. I remember
Unbelievable, huh?
Wow. Yeah. That's why I would say that's Saturday, but yeah, this is November. I had forgot all about that. Yeah. And then I think the Benavidez card, that's like late in the month, right? The big Riyadh.
22nd. Yeah.
Yeah, 22nd. Damn. I wish that was Saturday.
But that's in Saudi. No, that's Saturday, but that's in Saudi, so it's gotta be at like noontime or something, I'm guessing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for that Devin and Brian Norman. That's the talk of the town then. Norman and
I
Devin.
can't call that one. I've been saying Devin by UD. I'm not even sure, bro. I might end up flipping. Don't be shocked if I flip.
Yeah, I'm still with Devin. UD. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The more I look at Brian Norman and his fights, I'm like, hang on a second here. Like, I don't know, man. This is listen. Since Bivol Beterbiev, I don't know if I've seen a fight that is too close to call for me, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. I thought Bivol won both of them.
hopefully the fight plays out like that, Bivol Beterbiev.
Yeah. Devin gonna have to win some exchange. It ain't gonna be no toe to toe, but he's gonna have to stand in there a few times and win some exchanges. You know, he can't run the whole fight this time. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either because he's fighting for Norman's belt, so you got to beat the champion.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's a good
I mean,
point.
Devin's got a few things going for him, right? He's fought better opposition. That's undeniable, right?
Oh yeah, by far.
He's got the better jab out of the two, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's been in there with a long time.
I think he's got a little quicker hands than the two. He's got the better, he's got a few things going for him. But if Beanon can punch with him, oh boy.
Yeah, he got that equalizer.
Yes,
he
he's got the left hook from hell.
He got that fight changing power. You know.
Yeah.
You always gotta take that into consideration.
Norman is a little bull, man. I'm sorry, not for nothing. I'm starting to really like Norman. Not that I didn't like him, but I don't think I fully appreciated him, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Man, because the other ones are pretty, not to be disrespectful, but the other ones are pretty, quote unquote, easy to call for me. You know, I got Benavidez, I got Bam, and I got Abdullah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Bam's second fight this year. You know, he fought.
Isn't
like
it his third one?
Third? Yeah, that's right. It's his third one.
Because he
He
fought
fought
Fumelele. He fought
Then he fought
Fumelele
in the
Cafu.
summer. Right. This is third one. Yeah, Bam is
Did he fight? I think he fought either Pedro Guevara or somebody like early. I
Guevara.
could be wrong about this, but I think it's his third fight.
Yeah, he fought in the summer, and I think he fought like February or something like that. So I was thinking that was last year, but that's been so long ago. Seemed like last year, you know. Well, yeah, well, you're right. It was this year. I just hope we get Monster and the other Japanese guy.
Nakatani?
Yeah, I hope we get them in 26, man. You know?
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be around April or something like that.
I can die happy, man. That's on top of my bucket list, Monster and Nakatani. If I had any fight in boxing I could have, that would be the one I would pick.
I would say that one plus the Zurdo versus Ayopataya. Those are the two for me.
Put your heart and soul. I will never have a problem with them.
Yeah, they need to have that one. Zurdo and Ayopataya, they need to have that one too. Yeah, for sure.
And I think we're getting the trilogy. I think I heard something about Bivol training for Beterbiev 3.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that one just yet. But you know, I just think it's too much of a coincidence that Arthur Beterbiev canceled his fight with Dean Nicholson on the November card, and then I heard something about Bivol something along the lines of Bivol looking sharp for Beterbiev trilogy or something like that. You know,
what was the reason Beterbiev canceled it? Cancel this fight on this card.
I'm thinking that's it. I'm thinking he got the call and said, "Listen, forget this dude. He can fight somebody else, and you get your third fight, and then you can, you know, retire, be a ghost, and be a legend." You know,
he's 40 right now, right?
At least.
And his birthday is early in the year, like February or something. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna be 41, maybe 42 before the trilogy happens.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, Bivol had back surgery. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know.
I just want to know how everybody talking about Wardley and Usyk. What happened to Carbayel? How did Wardley just jump over Carbayel?
That's a good question. I mean, I not for nothing, I saw Carbayel calling out Daniel Dubois. I think that's a pretty good fight for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like Usyk. Listen, as highly as I think of him. You know, I felt Parker deserved his shot. He never got it. And
no, he didn't. They messed up around and got beat. Yeah.
Yeah, and Caballel also deserves his shot. But here's the thing, though. Like I think people are missing a key point here, because even I was like, you know, let me pump the brakes here, because Parker's best win, at least best recent win, was Zhilei Zhang, right? Because you can't really count Deontay Wilder, because that wasn't the Deontay Wilder,
right?
You know,
that's true. That's true.
And Zhilei Zhang was coming off of that nasty KO of Wilder,
you
know, so he was still dangerous. And that's Caballel's best win as well. So Zhilei Zhang is Parker and Caballel's best win. So I don't know. I just feel like are we sure that they're ready? Like. On the flip side, because not for nothing, Fabio just beat Joe Parker. So, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of dicey for me. But Caballel's a beast, bro. Caballel, the body work.
If anything, Woodley and Caballel should have a title eliminated instead of Woodley just going straight to Usyk. You know?
Say that again?
Anything, Wardley and Carbayel should have a title eliminated instead of Wardley just going straight to Usyk, jumping over Carbayel like that, you know?
I agree with that. I actually thought that when Parker was sitting there, I thought that Parker and Caballel should have fought for the right to face Usyk. So I'm right there with you, bro, for sure. And you said you had Virgil by stoppage or decision? I'm sorry.
Decision.
Okay.
If we go to decision, you know, they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, there's no way. He's got the bigger fan base. He's younger.
Yeah.
He's quote unquote undefeated. So
And then looking at that Boots fight, they're not going to mess that up.
Right.
Not giving somebody a decision over it.
Yeah, I've been saying this all over my lives, like
the money. You know.
I've been saying this like a rooster on my lives. I've been saying, listen, the only way that Oscar will ever allow Virgil and Zurdo to get in the ring with Boots and Jai is if Turkey just breaks the piggy bank for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's gonna be like, listen, you're gonna get killed here, but look at the bright side. Look at all this money. You know.
What's crazy about Oscar though, man? He got that protection racket, and the way he had wanted all the smoke when he fought. Ain't that crazy? You would never think Oscar would be protecting his fighters like that.
I mean, it makes sense because okay, so I hear you, but it does make sense from you when you look at it, because he's got the promoter hat on right now.
Now,
you know, he has to think like a promoter, and to be honest with you, and this is probably not gonna sound good, but in all honesty, if I was in Oscar's shoes, I would be doing the same thing, not for nothing.
Trying to build him. Yeah.
No, but like, he can tell you what he wants, but deep down he knows they got a shot in hell to beat those two dudes.
And that's his money. He don't want to get them beat too soon, you know.
Exactly.
I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, it's a business, you know.
If anything, you would let Zurdo go, because Zurdo's at cruiserweight, and that is not as attractive as a junior middleweight, or you know.
And Oscar, remember what happened when he put Zurdo in there with Bivol?
Right.
It was a massacre.
It was a masterclass for
ugly.
Sure.
Yeah, it was ugly. You lucky that wasn't Viterbi. That would have.
Oh, forget about that. Man, it is interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think, not for nothing, bro, I will give Virgil this. I do think that Virgil and Boots Ennis is by far the biggest fight in 154. Not even in my opinion. I can't hear you.
Oh, my bad.
They'd had history through two divisions now, you know. Boots and Virgil.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
47 and 54. So
they kind of remind me of Shakur and Oscar Valdez, remember? They started at 126 and finally 130 they got the fight. And then it was competitive, but it was one-sided and competitive at the same. You know what? If you know what I mean.
Right. I know. I know exactly what
big
you mean.
Blowout, but it wasn't really competitive neither.
I mean, it was competitive, but there was a clear winner as well.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it was clear, crystal clear. Yeah.
It wasn't an ass whooping, but it wasn't, too close to call either.
Right.
You know?
Like the judges didn't have a lot of work to do. You know, they could clearly see who was winning the fight. But yeah,
exactly.
Went the distance, and it was a good, entertaining fight. You know. I think Boots gonna stop Virgil though.
For sure.
He's tailor-made for Boots. He's gonna be right there.
And I feel the same way about Jaya Petaya and Zurdo. It's gonna be a slaughterhouse.
It's gonna be another
style thing. It's a style thing.
Styles make fights, yeah. And Stanionis is a good fighter. And look what Boots did to him.
Right.
He was an undefeated champion. You know?
And even Karen, bro. Karen is a very crafty fighter with skills.
Yes, he is. I was trying to tell people at the first fight that Karen don't normally fight like that, and you see what he fought in the second fight. I was trying to tell people that's how he normally had been fighting. I was shocked when I saw Karen in that first Boots fight the way he fought. He don't normally fight like that.
Me too. But that right there says it, right? How many times have you seen a fighter make adjustments like that from one fight to another?
I know that was up, wasn't it?
That means you got layers to your game, bro.
So let me say this. With regards to the heavyweight fight, I agree that Wardley probably does not deserve that fight. I don't think that he's put in the body of work that's necessary for you to deserve the fight. But Parker did choose not to respect Wardley as an opponent and come in overweight. And he pretty much tricked that fight off. Now, I do believe he deserves a rematch because I thought that even though he probably would have eventually got stopped, in that moment, it wasn't worthy to stop him. He should have thrown punches, but he wasn't getting hit with punches. So I don't think that he should have been actually stopped in that moment. I think it should have given Wardley more chances to try to land punches before, and he didn't defend himself. But that's why I think that they should have the rematch. Daniel Dubois had his chance. He blew the second opportunity that he was given. So, you know, if he's to get another fight with Usyk, then he has to earn it by beating a couple of guys. So now, Caballero, on his own merit, I don't believe that he's done enough that would warrant a fight with to earn him a fight with Usyk. But at the same time, I think he's the best opponent for Usyk. I believe he's the only opponent that I would give a chance at beating Usyk now, because you got to have a right mentality to go in there and fight Usyk. Usyk beats people more so with his mentality, his IQ, than his actual skill set. He knows how to use what he can do very well. And you need somebody that's going to be able to counterbalance that with what they do well, and not just go out there and try to bang him. You're not going to bang him and win. You know, you got to work the body. And the one thing that your boy Usyk can't stand is a good body blow. He folds, and we know what Caballero does extremely well, is work the body. That being said, you know, I agree with Irony. They both have wins over the best respective opponent, and it's similar. So, you know, I don't know who definitely deserves. I don't think Herkovich deserves a shot.
Oh, no.
I don't believe Itwama deserves a shot. But these are the players that are around the same playing field, and of them, Wardley, Parker, and Caballero have separated themselves from them. So now if they're all not deserving, then they need to fight amongst each other.
I was saying,
to get that fight. Now, I don't know if Usyk has that much time left in the sport. So if they're going to make fights, they got to make 2 fights relatively quick that will separate the rest. So if it's those 4 names, we're talking Itwama, Wardley, Parker, Caballero, then they need to fight one another. And then the winner of those fights. Huh?
I only think Itwama is that deserves to be at that level with them yet.
Yeah, but there's the only other people that I can think of merit happen to be American boxers, but they don't have much pub behind them. So you know they're not going to get much push. So with that being the case, these are the 4 names that I know that they will push. You know, Zilly Zhang no longer, AJ no longer, Wilder maybe because he's a big name and they can sell that fight, but we're not seeing the same Wilder. And I was just talking to some people who said the difference between nowadays boxers and yesteryear's boxers is the mindset in which they approach their training. The old guard versus this new regime. This new regime does not condition them for grueling battles. Conditions them for optimal performance, but not grueling battles. And sometimes you're going to be in there with a grueling battle, and you got to be able to have to go through just normal fatigue. You got to go through some stuff, and that's what the old training methods took you through. And I agree with that. I think the old school way definitely benefited more so than the new school way of things. And on top of that, wasn't as many injuries. But that being said, they haven't been through that. And, you know, coming from where Usyk comes from, they lived through that. It's a whole different mindset. What we take for privilege, and granted, what we take for not privilege, but what we take for granted is their privilege. You know what I'm saying? If they can ever get that, that's a privilege for them. They don't get what we get on a regular basis, even though we are somewhat in a bad state out here. It's never as bad as it is there. So they grew up in that. They lived through that. They endured through that, and that makes them mentally tough. to go through tough times. They won't fold whenever. Now, I will say that your boy took advantage of that dang body shot that landed on him, and he sold the heck out of it and got a good extended rest. Nah, he did. He really did, bro. And I think that should be an asterisk on his mark, because that was a real solid punch, and they allowed that man 10 minutes, 13 to be exact. But that being said, he got the resolve to get up and just totally dominate from that point forward.
Yeah, they fought him again too, you know.
Yeah, and dominated him. Dominated him.
You got to give him credit for that too, you know.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of people wouldn't have did that, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. But the second half of that fight made it easy for him to get the rematch. It's like, okay, I know what I got to do to him to get him up out of his comfort zone. Because ultimately, that's what it's about, being comfortable in your space. If you're not comfortable in your space, you could be talented as hell. You're not going to do what you normally do because you're just not comfortable. You're not feeling it. He knew he had him in a point where he could no longer feel it, and he knew exactly what to do to take him back to that point. And it worked. And then, you know, your boy didn't respect Usyk. I guess he thought that, you know, I'm this dude. I just dispatched of AJ like nobody has. And but with that being the case, you know, AJ and them, they're no longer on that level. Wilder maybe a wild card because he might draw, but that's a maybe. So maybe it's just those four names to me. It's those four names that factor prominent. So why don't you pit them four names against one another? Let the winner fight one another, and then there's the fight. There's the fight. And until then, you know, Usyk has earned the right to pick on a AJ or a Wilder or Zhilei Zhang, because he done put in work on everybody else that was mandatory or, you know, was supposed to be given granted a fight, the opportunity to fight. And then as far as the Virgil Boots fight, at that division, probably the biggest star power fight because of so many people that follow both those fighters. The best fight, I wouldn't be so sure.
No, not the best. Biggest.
I think there's better fights with Boots that can be made, but it's a fight that people will get behind, and it's a fight that people will buy into. So I agree with that.
Fight for us being a good fight. I don't think it's gonna be that good of a fight. It's the biggest stuff. Yeah.
But a lot will be said about this fight regarding how Virgil looks against Lubin. Yeah. Because he's a barometer of sorts. He's something that people can put the litmus paper to and say, let's see how he looked against him. Because Lubin is vastly underrated and an extreme threat, especially when he's boxing right. So hopefully he does box right. Hopefully he keeps his head off the line and he gives him something to think about so that we can find out whether or not, you know, he's able to handle his movement, his speed, you know, and what he brings to the table. And then we'll get a better look. But I can't wait to see how things play out. I can't wait for these other fights to take place. I am extremely saddened by the state in which and I'm sorry about this background noise, but I ain't got the air on. I was letting the air from the outside cool me down because I was talking while the windows was up, and it's like 90 something degrees.
Damn.
But yeah. But I would say that. Go ahead. Oh yeah, it's a warm one. But I will say that with regards to I forgot what I was talking. Oh, these upcoming fights. I'm saddened that, you know, there's so much disdain and hate for our fighters that we should be rooting for, but that we often root against because of an allegiance, a misguided allegiance we have to certain folks or certain fighters that got us sitting there tearing fighters down. But, you know, what fights we do get, I hope we see the best rendition of the fighters. So we do have a Devin fight coming up with your boy Norman. Now, we had some good commentary and good dialogue about that fight and how it could play out and what we should expect. The thing that I'm hoping to see regarding that fight is how will Devin mentally respond to the things that have taken place in his career as of late. Those things are the things that I worry more about. His ability, yeah, because somebody said he's that Norman doesn't have footwork. I don't believe that's so. I believe that he has not great, but good footwork, and I think that it's purposeful. And as long as it's purposeful and it has a function, I don't care how it looks. Is it getting the job done? And he seems to be getting the job done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Getting the job done. Good enough to do that. Yeah.
He seems to know, like, he knows how to cut and angle people towards him. So if Devin is supposedly going to go in there and move, I think that he has something for that. Likewise, I believe, he knows how to set his punches up and use his feet to punch properly. So, he is somebody in there that maybe not have, quote unquote, the star power on his resume, but he has been fighting styles.
Be a big one if he can get this one, though, T Hill. If he can get this one against Devin, this would be a big one.
It'll be a huge one. And then somewhat you're gonna have to put some respect on his name. Mm-hmm. Likewise, if Devin is to get him.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say, he can't function and thrive against a puncher, a big time puncher. Well, that's what he is. He's a big time puncher. So if he can thrive against him, then shoot. Wow, we got to put some respect on his name. But like I said, in order for him to thrive, I believe he also likewise has to be able to thrive mentally. And that's what I'm waiting more so than anything, man. So that's what I'm looking forward in that match. And like Irony said, I'm not really too keen on all the other fights. They don't thrill me as much as that fight. That fight's intriguing, but
that's the one.
You never know how it'll turn out. It might turn out to be legit. So that's what I'll say, and I'm gonna go on mute.
Yeah, we're gonna get ready to run. What's up going on tonight? How's everything been going over there, boxing, Arnie?
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna do a show of the. I'm gonna break down the Virgil and Lubin, but it's not gonna be today.
Okay, that'll be good. Yeah.
Actually, if I get a call, I may not go live today, but I probably will when it's all said and done. I'll see what I do. I'll probably
closer to the end. Be a good time to break it down, like Thursday or Friday.
Exactly. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, one of those.
Yeah.
Because I want to see some more. I want to see the Ramos fight again for Lubin. I want to see I want to see fights that where I can see kind of like the opponent. Like, there's no reason for me to watch the Fundora fight because, I mean, Virgil doesn't have nobody has that size or length.
What you think about the Ramos fight and Lubin? A lot of people thought that Ramos got robbed. What do you think about that one?
To be honest with you, bro, I only saw it once, and for what I remember, I thought Ramos edged it out, but I definitely got to see it again at least one time. So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it was a good fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you say you might come tonight though. What time you been coming on though? Because I used to be asleep.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I try to go like at 9 and I end up going live at like 10:30 or something like that because shit happens and stuff like that. But I'm gonna try to go early today, but I've said that before, so you know how it goes.
Yeah. I'll be looking at the paybacks though, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the comebacks now. I may do, what I'm trying to do? I did the list of ferocious KOs and must-see fights and one-sided fights. So I'm trying to do like 1, maybe 2 fights so I can break them down. But I don't want to get shut down like I got shut down like 3 days ago,
I mean, what?
Yeah, that fair use. You got to put that fair use out there.
What was you doing? Like breaking down a fight, showing film or something?
Yeah, I was showing film, and I guess I got a little too carried away, and I forgot to put the screenshot that T Hill told me to. And
what did they do? Just shut you down for that? You was able to come back the next day?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was just a warning. If it happens
Oh,
again, then I
okay.
can't do anything for like a week. And I was like,
Oh,
oh
okay.
man, I gotta be on my best behavior here. So,
Yeah.
but as long as I don't get an official channel like Top Rank or PBC, if I can
Yeah.
get like a different channel, because some of those fights you can find at some channels and some at some random channels, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's more on the safe side, you know.
Right. Yeah, that's true. They mess with the big boys. And they really hurt them. I don't know why they so sensitive like that, you know.
I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
What are
that's
we
true.
gonna do, you know?
Well, what you doing tonight? The comebacks? Still on the comebacks?
I think
The
so. Yeah, I'll
best
probably
comeback?
go into. I did the first 11 last night,
Right.
so I'm gonna try to go into at least 20
Okay.
tonight. You know, but
Cool.
we'll see. You know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to go. But I appreciate y'all again. We're gonna talk about some sports families tomorrow, not just boxing. It's families. Like remember like the Currys, Steph and Seth. You
Oh
familiar?
yeah.
You familiar with their father? He was a
Oh
killer
yeah.
from
I saw
downtown.
Del Curry. Yeah,
Del
Del. His
Curry,
name is
yeah.
Del, right?
It's in the
Like-
genes, that long range shooting, because Del could hit. Del was out there 30, 35 feet, dropping them like layups too.
Yes.
You know?
Del Curry was a killer. He was more like a 6-man than anything else.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Yes,
good enough.
Steph was about the biggest of the three, the two brothers and the father. But Del, I think Del made a couple All-Star teams though, you know.
I think so too. I'm not sure, but I think so too. Back in the 90s, yeah.
I think Seth is on Golden State now, right? Aren't they playing the two brothers? I think.
To be honest with you, I don't follow.
he is.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, they got Klay Thompson left the Splash Brothers. Now they got the biological brother. You know.
Yeah, I don't watch the NBA anymore, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I really get deep into it around playoff time, but I keep an eye on it during the season. But when the playoff time, I'm all in then. Like after like February, something like that is when I really start tuning in. But now it's just, you know, like baseball. You know, I don't watch baseball around June. It's just too much going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I know it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, man. Always good talking to my man Define Irony.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my man Mike Rim in the comments. You know, Mike Rim holding it down for us. Shout out, you know, Dark Ken. It was good to see that brother over this way. Just do the voice of boxing, who we should be governing ourselves to go over and acquaint ourselves with. Al Booger, the prototype professor. Ernest Johnson, Mrs. Cass. You know, Mike.
Appreciate you, brother.
Magic. Appreciate all you guys that came through and supported. Appreciate everything that you did for us today and indoctrinating us with some great trilogies and great fights. And hopefully everybody will come back and reconvene tomorrow. We're given that day, if it be the Lord's will. So on that note, man, you lovely people have a wonderful day, man. God bless and take care.
You too, brother. Appreciate you. You already know. And Cass, you already know. God bless, sir. And we shall see you soon.
Okay.
Take care.
Everybody have a great afternoon. We out.